Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're all well versed with the introduction of today's session. Let's start with this picture. So what you can all see? Any brilliant one? What can we see in this picture? I hope the brilliant residents of Dermatology department will answer definitely. A sketch. Well, the sketch is not yet drawn. Anyone else? A paper and a pen and a hand. So symbolically speaking, what do they denote? What do they denote? Sorry. Prescription? No. But symbolically for today's session. You can write anything on this paper. What does the paper stands for? Skin, face. You're well versed with the anatomy and the requirements of this page. Am I right? So what does the pen stand for? Ji sir. You may be very right. You may be very right, but on this paper someone else has to write. This paper denotes skin. What does the pen stands for? Thread. Thread with which what we are dealing today. And what does the hands stands for? The operator, the doctor. See? So you're done with the paper. The hand will be explained by Dr. Asma and Dr. Abid. And I'm here to tackle with this pen to let you understand, make you understand what the pen is, thread is. So, topic of my presentation is basically material and designs of threads. A brief introduction of mine. I'm working as senior registrar in Dermatology department here in Faisalabad Medical. So, very important of all of them is absorption period. I'll focus on it first. According to absorption of the threads, they may be non-absorbable or absorbable. The absorbable ones, conventionally known to be gold and platinum threads, now well known are nylon and propylene threads, and the other. Starting with the nylon, it's a monofilament and also a coated multifilament. It comes in two preparations. It is synthetic and has been used extensively in surgery. The most important property of it is that it's totally inert. Strong enough, if held in traction, it can cover. The next one is polypropylene. Again, the synthetic, non-absorbable monofilament has got high memory with a very low tissue reactivity. It is most suitable for suspension because it's totally inert. Inert means it does not cause fibrosis at all, and it is best for suspension without fibrosis. And it can be eliminated even after many years. Next come the absorbable threads. They may be naturally absorbable. Their absorption may be natural or synthetic. Natural one enzymatically via esterase. The catgut and other some surgical sutures are there. I won't focus on them. The synthetic ones whose absorption occurs through hydrolysis. That is, they get converted to water and carbon dioxide. Four top examples of them: polyglyctin 910, polyglycopron, polyglycolic acid, and polydioxanone. With polyglyctin 910, it comes with the brand name of Vicryl. It's basically interwoven, colored polyfilament, but it has got risk of infection more than others. Its absorption occurs between 2 to 12 weeks. It takes 2 to 12 weeks. The next comes polyglycopron, which comes with the brand name of Monocryl. It's a monofilament. It is excellent for dermis and subdermis with a reduced capillarity and reduced bacterial adhesion as compared to polyglyctin 910. And its absorption starts within 1 week and ends at 6 weeks. Next comes polyglycolic acid. It belongs to the class of alpha hydroxy acids and it is polyfilament. It is biodegradable with both types of enzymatic and hydrolytic degradation. It is thermoplastic and it loses 50% of its resistance in 2 weeks and 100% in 1 month, or that 4 weeks. So it is completely absorbed in 4 to 6 weeks. It's co-polymers device. 4 of them have been mentioned. Polylactic acid or polycaprolactone, PCL. Its speed of degradation is variable, ranging from 90 to 120, to 180 days, with an added effect of fibrosis due to its strong macrophagic action. It is also biodegradable, but at specific conditions, like more than 60 degrees centigrade and humidity of more than 20%. It is useful for both filler effect and lifting effect too. The other one less used is polyglyceride cotrimethylene. Another very common in use is L-lacton E-caprolactone, which is poly-L-lactic acid. It is L-isomer of polylactic acid. It is biodegradable, biocompatible, and biologically quite inert. It's a synthetic polymer. Its microparticles initiate neocollagenesis where they are inserted. As a result, there occurs normal foreign body type reaction, and it leads to buildup of collagen over time, which creates volume at the site of injection. It is metabolized to carbon dioxide and water. Initially, it was used approved, FDA approved for as a filler in HIV lipoatrophy. Polyglycolic co-caprolactone comes with the brand name of Dexon. It's a highly tolerated monofilament and is absorbed through hydrolysis, as you all know. It is also biodegradable and bioabsorbable. It's Barb product, which is commercially available as quill. It's used to suture skin and subdermis without suture knots. Next comes a very important filament, polydioxanone. This is again absorbable, synthetic, and monofilament, but its special property is being antimicrobial. It is biostimulating and has got little capillarity, but it is relatively inert. It creates little inflammatory action when compared to other PLA and PCL. But it has got highly tolerated excellent biological tolerability. Total absorption occurs in 6 to 8 months. It loses its strength of 70% at 2 weeks, 50% at 4 weeks, and 25% at. So here is a brief comparison of these bioresorbable polymers, the most common of them which are used. I have not mentioned them all. Like you can see, polyglycolic acid with its total retention time and total mass loss time, in pure form, its total retention time is just few days and total mass loss time is just few weeks. While the other co-polymers of it when produced are, you can compare the PDO and PLA. Their total retention time which denotes their efficacy, that how long they remain there in the tissue, and you can see them on histology. It ranges from 3 weeks for PDO and 3 months for PLLA. And for total mass loss time, which is the persistence of the thread, it ranges from 5 months for PDO and 18 months for PLLA. Next comes the morphological types of threads. That how can we see them? These are mono threads. There are plain threads. Essentially, they are micro threads of 60 or 80 size. They are inserted in a microneedle. They can have variable length from 12 to 60 millimeter. They are inserted into medium to deep dermis to create a mesh, as will be explained by my colleagues. It is basically used as a non-invasive dermocosmetic treatment of biostimulation. And if PDO, we consider it, you have to repeat it every 4 to 8 months according to its absorption. Then come the screw, spiral, or tornado threads. These are basically smooth microthreads with 50 and 80. They are inserted and rolled up in a microneedle in a screw or spiral shape. They are 25 to 60 millimeter long, and they are inserted into dermis and subdermis. They also create lines of biostimulation and retraction along the traction vectors. But because of this screw shape, they have greater macrophagic response and more effective biostimulation. They do have a cascade effect on healing and tissue restructuring in the follicle. Next comes the embossing type. There are 3050 with some grooves and inserted into microneedle, variable length 25 to 60 millimeter long, again inserted into mid to deep dermis, subdermis to create traction lines and subcutaneous support network, not for traction at all. But how the embossing is created? It is basically created by a permanent impression of a relief design obtained mechanically through pressure. This grooving or embossing helps the macrophagic reaction, useful for biostimulation without tissue fibrosis. Next come the cogs or barbs. These are inserted into a micro thread or blunt cannula with they're usually 50 to 90 millimeter long. They're inserted into deep subdermis and superficial smash to create suspension line along the traction vectors. From here, the concept of suspension starts. They are self-retaining. The cogs are essentially monothreads with barbs. These are the barbs. Collagen formation occurs around the threads and around the barbs. They form a support structure that lifts the sagging tissue, and they usually do not need the anchoring points. The barbs do anchor the thread and underhook it under the skin. They're most effective for jawline slimming. Here are the types of cogs. They may be unidirectional. These are embossy. These are unidirectional barbs, bidirectional barbs. They may be multidirectional. They may be convergent towards each other, or they may be divergent. Cogs, how cogs are produced on the threads? They can be created by cutting or molding. There's a slight difference between it. Cutting is produced by cutting the individual thread. It can be cut in any way. While the molding one is the other concept. It's not produced by cutting. Definitely in their differences, tensile strength, anchoring strength, and tissue trauma are much more with the molding type. Procedure time is same. Price of procedure does increase with the molding types of threads. Disadvantages of cutting type of thread. This is cutting type of thread and this is molding type of thread. It does face disinsertion due to pulling forces and can have a backward folding up. It can face the breakage of thread at the weak point. This is the weak point. You can see this is the weak point. While in molding type of thread, there is no weak point. Another picture to show you the weak point and the cog, small cog. While in mold thread, it is strong enough and does not. Next come the cones. The idea of cones came into as a revolution in the skin lifting. It works on drift anchor principle used with the boats, with a parachute idea, and it can hold very strong volume. Again, some review pictures. And now we are done with the morphological types and types according to their absorption. So what do we want to do now? How to choose between the threads? It matters. What does matter? Indication, aim, what is the preference of the operator, what are the material of the thread which has to be chosen, and what is the capacity of each one of them to attain these aims. Combining them all, we can say that if you want lifting or suspension, you need morphologically barbed cog threads or cone threads. But if you need biostimulation or support network or rejuvenation, you definitely need mono or. Another way of explaining them that if you need fibrosis, you may use gold threads or any other threads with net or crisscrossing techniques, but definitely they should be absorbable. Suspending threads for suspension, if you want, you can consider curl lift, which was done previously in the past, not done nowadays, and you can consider cog threads. Basically, we are done with the topic, but some additional points which come into mind and some queries that have to be cleared. Differences between PDO and PLA. PDO basically is partially starts degrading at 2 weeks and fully degraded. It's fully degraded by 6 months, but its safety is not proven. It is a dyed product. With dye the dye used in it can cause pigmentation on the skin. While PLLA starts degrading at 3 months and is fully degraded into collagen by 12 to 24 months. That is 2 years. So it is a longer lasting. And it is more benefits of it are that it is naturally found in body. It is not harmful to body. It is transparent. No issue of pigment or dye. It has been US FDA approved as a filler component, but it's definitely costly. Again, a quick review of the previous slide for your information as a comparison for all of them. PDO, PCL and PLLA. Their total retention time and the total. Some of them need to be discussed in detail. EPTOS, basically, we are all well familiar with it. These are bidirectional threads with no anchoring points. These are basically made up of non-absorbable monofilament, that is polypropylene. They were the very first cog threads to be developed. Propylene has been used as surgical for years. Its name came from as anti-ptosis device. It was very efficient for non-surgical correction of facial aging. Its advantage is that easy insertion is there. But disadvantage is that it's not long lasting, it's prone to migration and extrusion, it needs to be inserted rather superficially, so it faces the problem of palpability. Another disadvantage that for solid anchorage we need to use a larger caliber. Select sutures are basically based on the idea of cones. They have reabsorbable cones of PLLA on a thread. First idea of cones was applied to 3,0-polypropylene thread by FDA in 2006. It was approved. They work on drift anchor principle, as I explained earlier. They've got very strong anchoring through surface of the cones, and new collagen formation occurs and around the cones. Cones basically have cone threads. They work on two mechanisms. They can have with it we can have immediate repositioning, which the operator can do. Immediate repositioning of skin and underlying structures over the underlying structure, and then over the process of time, over the period of time, gradual regeneration of collagen due to polylactic acid cones. Advantages with PLLA, these cones are made up of PLLA, that they have 360-degree anchorage as compared to the barbs, which don't have a 360-degree coverage. Adipose tissue does grow inside and outside. It has exuberant fibrotic reaction, and if the thread is made up of propylene, you can have second reaction possible after many years even. It does have multiple anchorage point and it can be inserted deeply as compared to the other threads. There are no problems of migration or extrusion. There are few risks of asymmetry or displacement, and their effect will last for about 3 years. But the disadvantage is that difficult insertion and methodology and the cost, definitely. The methodology will be explained by other colleagues, but for a general rule, they come with the cones of 8, 12 or 16 with bidirectional and of variable length. They are themselves positioned along the length of the suture and separated by knots. These are the knots. They are bidirectional, that is, these are going in this direction and the other ones in this direction. 4, 6 or 8 cones on each side. They are freely floating between the tied knots. And each set of cone faces in the opposite direction and points towards the end of the suture of thread. Between these knots, between these two knots, the cone is freely movable. Finally, the two knots in the center are positioned 1.5 centimeter apart at an equal distance from midpoint where no cones are situated. Well, thanks a lot for your attention.